Skybiz 107 for the landing clearance.
Yeah, you're clear to land 23, Skybiz 107.
Clear to land 23, Skybiz 107.
In the world of aviation, there are moments that defy explanation, moments that challenge our understanding of survival itself. On February 17th, 2025, Delta Flight 4819 became one of those moments. As the winter sun set over Toronto Pearson International Airport, no one could have predicted that this routine landing would become a story that would captivate the world. Picture this: a commercial aircraft carrying dozens of passengers, approaching one of North America's busiest airports in challenging winter conditions. In mere seconds, this ordinary flight would transform into an extraordinary tale of survival, as the CRJ-900 regional jet would end up completely inverted on the runway. Yet, in what can only be described as a miracle, every single soul on board survived. But this isn't just another aviation incident. As we dive deeper into this remarkable event, we'll uncover crucial questions about airline safety, passenger rights, and the complex web of legal implications that emerge when disaster meets miracle. What really happened on that snowy Toronto evening? And more importantly, what does it mean for the future of aviation safety? Let's find out. Before we dive into video, please subscribe our channel for more aviation incidents. On February 17th, 2025, at approximately 6:45 p.m., Delta Flight 4819, a CRJ-900 regional jet, was scheduled to land at Toronto Pearson International Airport after departing from Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. The flight, operated under Delta Connection, was carrying a total of 70 passengers and crew members. As the aircraft approached runway 23, it encountered challenging weather conditions, including snow and reduced visibility. During the landing process, the aircraft unexpectedly lost control, resulting in a catastrophic event where it flipped upside down upon touchdown. The crash occurred at the Bravo intersection of the runway, a critical area that is often busy with incoming and outgoing flights. Despite the severity of the incident, astonishingly, there were no fatalities among those on board. Emergency response teams were immediately deployed to the scene, and passengers were evacuated safely, with approximately 18 individuals suffering minor injuries. This miraculous survival rate amidst the chaos prompted widespread attention, raising numerous questions about aviation safety protocols, emergency response measures, and the legal ramifications of such incidents. The crash serves as a stark reminder of the potential dangers in air travel and the importance of understanding the factors leading to such occurrences. The crash of Delta Flight 4819 raises several critical legal implications that merit careful examination. First and foremost, the incident prompts an analysis of aviation regulations and compliance standards. Airlines are governed by strict guidelines set forth by aviation authorities, such as the Federal Aviation Administration in the United States and Transport Canada in Canada. These regulations dictate everything from aircraft maintenance and pilot training to operational procedures during adverse weather conditions. Investigators will scrutinize whether Delta Airlines adhered to all necessary protocols prior to the flight, especially considering the snowy conditions. Another key aspect is the potential liability of the airline. In aviation incidents, liability can extend to various parties, including the airline, the aircraft manufacturer, and even air traffic control. If negligence is identified, such as failure to properly assess weather conditions or inadequate pilot training, the airline could face significant legal repercussions, including lawsuits from injured passengers and their families. Additionally, the crash raises questions about insurance considerations. Airlines typically carry liability insurance that covers accidents and incidents, but the specifics of the coverage can vary widely. Understanding how insurance claims will be processed in the aftermath of this incident is crucial for both the airline and the affected passengers. In summary, the legal implications of the Delta 4819 crash encompass regulatory compliance, potential liability, and insurance matters, all of which will play pivotal roles in the aftermath of this extraordinary event. The safety analysis of the Delta Flight 4819 crash involves a thorough examination of the various factors that contributed to the incident, particularly focusing on weather conditions, airport procedures, and the effectiveness of the emergency response. First, the weather at the time of the landing was a significant factor. The flight was arriving during a winter storm, which can create hazardous conditions on runways, including reduced visibility and icy surfaces. Investigators will need to assess whether the flight crew had adequate information about the weather conditions prior to landing and if they made the appropriate decisions based on that information. Next, the procedures at Toronto Pearson International Airport will be under scrutiny. Airports have established protocols for managing landings during adverse weather, including runway inspections and the deployment of de-icing equipment. An investigation will look into whether these procedures were followed and if they were sufficient to ensure a safe landing. Lastly, the emergency response to the crash is a critical aspect of the safety analysis. First responders must act quickly and efficiently to minimize injuries and save lives. In this case, the prompt deployment of emergency services likely contributed to the survival of all passengers and crew members. Evaluating the response time and effectiveness of these teams will provide insight into how well the airport is equipped to handle such emergencies. The Delta Flight 4819 incident highlights several important aspects of passenger rights in the aftermath of an aviation accident. When an incident occurs, passengers may be uncertain about their entitlements and the recourse available to them, making it crucial to understand the legal protections in place. First and foremost, passengers are entitled to compensation for injuries sustained during the incident. Under various aviation regulations, airlines are obligated to provide assistance to affected passengers, which may include medical care, accommodation, and transportation as necessary. In the case of Delta Flight 4819, with several individuals sustaining injuries, the airline would need to address these claims promptly and ensure that medical expenses are covered. Additionally, passengers may have the right to file legal claims against the airline if negligence is determined to be a contributing factor to the crash. This can involve seeking damages for emotional distress, pain and suffering, and any long-term impacts resulting from the incident. Understanding the legal avenues available is essential for passengers who may wish to pursue compensation. Furthermore, airlines must inform passengers of their rights and the procedures for filing claims. This includes providing clear communication about the steps to take following an incident and any necessary documentation that must be submitted. The investigation process following the crash of Delta Flight 4819 is a crucial step in determining the causes of the incident and ensuring accountability. Aviation crashes are typically investigated by national aviation safety authorities, and in this case, both the National Transportation Safety Board in the United States and the Transportation Safety Board of Canada will likely be involved. The investigation begins with the collection of evidence. Investigators will gather data from the aircraft's black box, which records flight data and cockpit conversations. This information is vital for understanding the flight's last moments and the decisions made by the flight crew. Additionally, investigators will examine maintenance records to assess whether the aircraft was in compliance with safety standards prior to the flight. Witness statements will also play a key role in the investigation. Passengers and crew members who experienced the incident may provide valuable insights into what occurred during the landing. Interviews with air traffic controllers and airport personnel will further contribute to a comprehensive understanding of the events leading up to the crash. The investigation will also assess environmental factors such as weather conditions at the time of landing. Analyzing meteorological data will help determine whether the flight crew had adequate information about adverse conditions and if appropriate safety protocols were followed. Finally, the investigation process typically culminates in a detailed report that outlines findings, identifies contributing factors, and makes safety recommendations. These recommendations aim to enhance aviation safety and prevent similar incidents in the future. The findings from the Delta Flight 4819 investigation will not only provide clarity for the affected passengers and their families, but also contribute to the broader aviation industry's commitment to safety and continuous improvement. What are your thoughts on this incident? Do you believe that airlines are doing enough to ensure passenger safety?